Alright, so I'm working on a 1999 Jaguar XJ8 ZF5HP24, and this came in with the typical A drum blown, slipping very bad in drive. I have the drum to show you. Pretty much just about done with the rebuild because again I have to keep moving, so I just have the valve body laid out. But what I'm going to be doing is installing one of these Transgo pressure regulator valves. And this is a great drop-in replacement, but you have to ID the valve body first because it needs to have this. I'll give you a close-up shot of this. And here is a pressure regulator vent, and this valve will only work with these valve bodies. So with this valve, you have a couple of areas, lanes that can take Teflon rings. So put a dab of assembly gel, you put the rings on, and then the package comes with a couple of O-rings that act as resizers. All right, so I have, this is another one that I don't want to open the package because the one that's actually going in the transmission is in the freezer since last night before I went home. So once you put the grease on, you put the Teflon rings on and the resizers, they recommend to put in the freezer to actually resize. So we'll be installing the valve. It should go right in. But of course I'm leaving in there until the last second, and then I'll run and get it, and we'll slide the valve in. So all right, I guess I'll just give you guys a close-up shot. Another thing that I wanted to cover on this particular valve body, this is a 99, I'm gonna give you a shot of where the orifices and stuff are. All right, but this little rubber damper, which you'll see also close up, can rupture, and if that happens in this unit, now I had one a couple of years ago that I think I had rebuilt the transmission many years ago, and the guy probably had about 90,000 miles on it, and anytime under hard acceleration he would get a gear ratio error in second. But other than that, if you drove it normal, you would never know that there's a problem. So I wasn't sure what to do here, so I was thinking about this rubber damper. So I said, let me drop the valve body and look at it, and you know, I told the guy I'm not really sure what's going on yet. Obviously there's a leak, pressure leak somewhere. So went ahead and dropped the valve body. I took it apart, and there's a hole in this. You can actually put air in here and apply air. And when I did, I actually saw a crack in this damper, and I put the new one in, put it back in the car, and it fixed it. And that was again, that was an early BMW 5HP24. Now, if you have another BMW, say with a 5HP19, and you have a slip on the pull-away, there's a good chance that this is broken also. That's what will cause on the 5HP19. All right, so let me get a little closer here, and then what I'm going to do, last thing I'm going to do is I'll run and get the valve from the freezer and put the thing in. All right, so let me get a little closer. I will be right back. All right, so here's a close-up shot of the lower front half of the valve body, and of course you can do this in the car. You can take this section down and not take any of the other, and not take the valve body down, unless of course you're gonna do an overhaul, or at that point the drum is broken and you gotta fix it. Okay, so here is the PR vent, as they call it right here. So very simple to tell. You drop the pan, you drop the filter, and you see if it has this in there. If it does, then you can go ahead and put that kit in if you wish. Okay, so here is the new spring. This is the spring that's actually going to be going in. Here is the valve that came out, and here is the valve that's going to go in. And as you can see, again, it has a longer land here. And also it takes the Teflon seals in this area and in this area. But I'll give you a close-up shot of the valve quickly before I slide it into the bore. And of course your seals two Teflon seals and 2 O-rings. And again, the O-rings are resizers. Here is the drum. And this thing was slipping pretty good. So the drum here is cracked, typically right around the ridge here, which it was. And then what happens is the drum cracks, the snap ring was halfway out. As the clutch applies, the piston comes up too far, and when it returns, it cuts the O-ring. And that's exactly what happened. One of the O-rings, the large O-ring on the main piston was broken. And then you have the smaller balance piston and the inner O-ring. Those two were okay, and the skinny O-ring on top was okay. All right, now, what I'm gonna do is I'll switch angles. I just wanna give you guys a shot of this. The orifices and stuff of this Jaguar. You know, it may vary, not necessarily the locations, but the colors and stuff like that. The colors, you know, have different size holes in them. But I'll give you a shot of this for this particular Jaguar. And then I'll get set up. I'll turn the camera on, I'll run and get the valve, and then we will put the valve into the bore. It should go right in, and when you leave it in the freezer, don't leave it in for like 20 minutes. You gotta give it a chance to resize. I leave mine in overnight, which is fine, but if you do it in the morning, I'll leave it there for probably 3 hours. And should be okay there, but you know, never force it in. It should go right in very easy. If it does not, then just put it back in the freezer, maybe put some more gel on it, put the O-rings back on and put it back in the freezer. All right, let me give you a close-up shot of this, and then we're gonna get back onto the lower front half of the valve body. Okay, here's a shot of the orifices. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, check ball, small screen, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got the ball, the check valve and spring here, and you have the rubber damper here. Okay, and again, 99 Jaguar. All right, let me reposition and get set up. And this one here, it may look like one goes there, but one did not go here. I push all the orifices down, and I flip the plate over in case anything gets stuck. I'll kind of know where it goes. You gotta get thing get stuck onto the plate. Okay, also upper section of the valve body, check valve and spring right here, and a screen that goes right in here. Okay, so I'm all set up here. I'm going to leave the camera on. I'm going to run and get the valve from the freezer. Okay, there's the valve. So we're going to take the O-rings off. And that's it. She's in. So, as they say, timing is everything. I left it in overnight. No problem. Okay, so now you have the new spring that comes in the kit. This valve goes in this way and the spring is left sticking out, no big deal. This one goes in like this. So this could be a little tough to push down, so what I do is I get this valve down into position like this, and I'll put, you know, like a pocket screwdriver or something in one of the lands here, just to hold this in place. So when I push down on the end plate, because it would be a little tough to get this down. And that's about it. So again, 1999 Jaguar XJ8 5HP24. I use this valve a lot now. I mean, this is really a great thing. I've been using it pretty much ever since it came out and had lots of luck with it. So So it is the Transgo pressure regulator valve. Just make sure you ID the valve body first so that you can use this particular valve if you wish. So it needs to have that PR vent. And again, very simple to tell. Just drop the pan, drop the filter, because the filter actually sits, of course, right in here. And then you see if you can see that vent. And if you're just doing this for preventive maintenance, or maybe something other than a blown drum, hard shifting, whatever the case may be, you can do this in the car. Just drop the front section down and you can leave the rest in the car. All right, so I guess that is about it on this. I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.